I have a very important question to ask you for you to think about. Are you all in on your health and your fitness goals? Or do you find yourself kind of half in and half not in? This is a space that can really cause some guilt and some frustration if we're not aware of what's going on when we haven't quite made a clear choice. Today, I'm going to show you some steps into how you can empower yourself by owning your choice, whether that is in or out. Either way, you will be empowered. Let's dive in. Hey, girl, welcome back to our show. So glad that you're joining me again today. Thank you so much for being a loyal listener. This is our show, anyways. Today, I'm going to be going over some things that they're familiar. We all need a reminder from time to time, and maybe if this is you, where you're finding yourself frustrated because you're not all in with your goals, I hope today um, really speaks to you and helps you feel empowered and not walking away like, oh, I need to do better. I should do better. That's not what this episode is about. Today, I want to talk about unlearning some old patterns. We're going to do a little mini self-evaluation. And then I'm going to talk about what it means to be all in or all out. And then let's understand what is required for those health and fitness goals that you have. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So many of us have been told our whole lives to put everyone first, right? And that leaves us feeling drained, stuck, and guilty whenever we even think about taking care of ourselves or getting a workout in or doing anything for ourselves. I know this isn't for everybody. I know not everybody struggles with this, but I think that we all have a place in our lives where we need to be saying yes to ourselves more, and we have a tendency to be saying no. So just be kind of thinking about that as I talk about these things. Here are the things I'm going to touch on. Like I said, I'm going to talk about the unlearning old patterns, self-evaluation, all in or out, embracing your choice. That's the big, powerful part that we're going to cover today. And then understanding what is actually required, and kind of did the discussion about realistic goals versus having dreams and wishes. Okay. And then we'll wrap it all up at the end. But let's talk real quick here about the first thing. Let's be real. We've all been conditioned to believe that selflessness means ignoring our own needs. Like you have to put everybody first, and that is actually the selfless thing to do. And I know that I've discussed this and how doing that is actually the selfish thing to do, because we're not taking care of ourselves. And then in the end, as we're aging, ladies, then we're putting a lot of responsibility on our family to take care of us. And we know that, in our head, we understand, right, that we need to be putting ourselves, for our health and our fitness first, so that we can age strong and healthy for as long as we're able to. So if you're used to believing that, making time for your workouts or making time for preparing your meals is taking away from your family or maybe somebody that you love, if you have been feeling this kind of a way, let's reevaluate that. This is just a little reminder that we all need to be reminded of. And I know that not everybody likes that, especially if you have been the person that has been doing all the things, right? You're cleaning up after everybody. You're preparing all the meals. You're doing all of the laundry. Plus you're working overtime, full time, and all the things. You have the weight of the world on you, and you have this sense of duty to do these things because that's kind of the old programming. And maybe that's not you, but if that is you, I hope that by the end of this episode, you'll be able to see that by doing that, it's a disservice to not just yourself, but also to those in your life that you love and that you care about. Anytime I'm talking about these kind of things, I feel like I have to preface this by saying I get it, because I used to feel these feelings. I'll tell you right now, like for me, it has been a long road of reprogramming. And sometimes these things creep back up, believe it or not. So I say this so you can know that I get it because I grew up with a lot of guilt trips. Let's just put it like that. And so, yeah, it wasn't right to think about myself. So, um, even the idea of like preparing food for myself, like whenever I had first started out on my health and fitness journey and started to prepare food and thinking, oh, I need to prepare food for everybody else, something different that they're used to. And it took me a little minute to say, you know what? No, this is how I'm going to do it. If I am responsible here for preparing meals for the family, which I was happy to do. I love to cook. I love to prepare meals. I love to do that for my family. But I came to a point where I was like, I'm not, this isn't a restaurant. And you can have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you don't like what I'm making. People are going to have resistance when we start out doing things differently, if that's you. So just understand that that's not selfish. In fact, it's one of the most selfless things we can do. And we are leaders. Ladies, we are leaders in our family. So when you think about preparing food for your family, I'm of the belief that if you are preparing healthy, nutritious meals for yourself, why would you not also for your family? I know that could step on some toes for other people, but my family, it took a little minute, but they started to get on board. And it was such a beautiful thing to set the example, to be the leader and understand. See, you don't even have to feel selfish or guilty or anything there because you are doing the right thing. So these things they're very powerful to be aware of, like how we're doing this. Sorry, I got a little distracted here. I do have notes, so full disclosure, sometimes I'm looking over here if you're watching me on a video and I get lost in my notes. But when we prioritize our health and our fitness, the truth is this is not selfish. This is self-love, and it's empowering. And when you prioritize your health and your fitness, you actually show up better for everyone around you, your family, the people you work with, the things that you need to accomplish every single day. You are more empowered because you are taking action and changing your pattern and doing things in a way that you don't need to feel guilty about it. You can show up unapologetically because you know in your heart that this is the best thing you could do for yourself and for everyone else. So in this next piece, I want to share a little self-evaluation moment. So if you're not walking or, out there without a pen and paper, you might want to come back to this or just make a like a digital note on your phone or something. But here's a self-evaluation moment. I'm going to ask you 3 questions to self-evaluate. Which, by the way, you are taking care of yourself if you are listening in on this episode and thinking how you can improve your health and fitness, how you can show up better for yourself, how you can be empowered. Good for you. And if you're walking, even better. So good for you. Just want to encourage you in that. Good for you. But let's do this self-evaluation moment. I want to pause and I want to ask you these three questions. So you don't have to answer out loud or whatever. Like, just reflect honestly with yourself. Okay. Number 1, when was the last time you actually said no to something that didn't serve you and your health and your fitness goals so that you could say yes to your health and your fitness? This does happen. And I'm not saying like you never have to say, like sometimes you can say yes if you know that you're able to rearrange things and still make your health and your fitness a priority. But the question does stand. When was the last time you said no to something that didn't serve your goals so that you could say yes to your health and your fitness. And this is just personal. This is going to be whatever for you. Number 2, do you feel guilty when you prioritize yourself? Do you? Whatever that looks like. Thinking to yourself of the ways that, what are some ways that would be showing up to put your health and your fitness first? And do you feel guilty when you prioritize that? I mean, I don't know what that looks like for you. But if there's a group of ladies that are going to go to happy hour after work, but you are starting to make some different choices for your health and your fitness, do you feel guilty about saying no so that you can say yes to your health and your fitness goals? Right there. Why do you think that is? This is just one example. I don't even know. Like, it could be anything. Do you feel guilty when you take time out of your day to do your workout, whether it's at home or whether it's at the gym, and you're taking time to prioritize yourself in that workout? Do you feel guilty about it? Why do you think that is? Just some things to reflect on. Number 3, here's a big, big one. Really think about this. What would your life look like if for the next 30 days you fully embraced putting your health and your fitness first? Just 30 days. What would your life look like if for 30 days you fully embraced putting your health and your fitness first? These questions are very powerful because they show us where we might be holding ourselves back without even realizing it. So thinking through your schedule, your week, your month, your daily things that you are doing and spending time doing, where you are perhaps not prioritizing your health and your fitness, think about these things. What if you were? What would your life actually look like if you did that for 30 days? Think about how that impacts other people. Think about how that impacts yourself on the inside, how emotionally, mentally, and even physically. What would your life look like? These are powerful questions to ask yourself because we've got to get down to the deep stuff that most women do not want to think about because it's uncomfortable, right? Like, let's be real. We don't like that because it's uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in just a few minutes. Well, let's go into it right now. Let's talk about all in or all out when it comes to your health and your fitness. Being all in does not mean this is completely separate from thinking about being all or nothing. Okay. All or nothing, that's a completely different topic from what I'm saying here. When I say all in or all out, it's a choice. And so when you're all in, you're all in. Does that mean you're all perfect? No. When you're all out, you're all out. Like, you have removed yourself from the choice of being all in. And that's what I want to talk about. It's not all or nothing. Totally different topic. Okay. What we're going to talk about, all in or all out. And when I think about this specific subject, this specific topic about being all in or all out, I reflect on my own journey of all of the times that I started and stopped, the yo-yo dieting kind of a thing. The guilt that came with that. I'm going to start again on Monday, and then just blow it for the whole weekend or whatever. Or just ignore it. Ignore that I haven't been taking care and just continue down the path of not taking care of my body, not taking care of myself, not taking care of my health. And so when I think of that time when I was, I always say this, sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was in this place where I was on the verge of making a choice that was going to change my whole life. It was a pivotal point. And this was when I decided I wanted to go all in. But I wasn't ready to go all in. I remember this very clearly. Before I decided, there was this kind of a self-talk kind of a thing that was going on with me. And it was like, not to be all perfect. It wasn't about being all perfect. It was just that I wanted to know that when I was going to make this decision to do the thing, that I was truly like, heck yeah, I am all in. That doesn't mean I'm going to be all perfect. It means that I am all in, and I am all in to keep showing up as best I can, and to keep learning, and to keep growing, and to keep adjusting and changing my schedule and changing little things, personal growth things, right? I'm all in. I did not make that all in decision. I was thinking about it for a long time, right? It's like we all kind of go through, I know I've talked about this before, but we all go through stages of being ready. And by the way, you don't need to be ready to take action and start doing things, but there is a natural progression to this place of actually being all in. So when I was getting ready, mentally preparing myself, I do remember I had, I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it all in, and I'm going to be ready to do it all in. So when you choose that you're going to be all in or you're going to be all out, what this does that's very powerful is it completely removes any guilt or shame. You don't have to have guilt and shame, because guilt and shame comes when we're hanging out in the middle ground, right? When we're being half in and half out. I was just on a coaching call this past week where I was discussing this because I don't remember which one of my mentors. One of my mentors was talking about how the train is going. The train to your success is heading out. Like your foot is on the train and your foot is on the ground. But because you haven't made a decision, nothing is happening. And now you're feeling frustration, right? Get all the way onto the train. You're either going to get all the way onto the train and go for it, or you're just going to stay right there. Get up, get off, and stand on the ground. Now you're all out. But it's a decision. It's a choice. There's no guilt or shame. It's like, I'm choosing this. So I'm saying this because if you want to release yourself from the guilt and shame feeling and the frustration feeling, then just own it and have the power. Like you own that power. There's no guilt. There's no shame. There is, I completely have chosen to not be all in with my health and fitness. And there's no guilt or shame. That's your choice. And so the all in part, you're all in. So when you're ready, like you're going to be all in. And believe me, I've been seeing this too when women are like, I can tell when I talk to somebody who wants to make a decision to be all in. I can see it, because they are, it's almost like this desperation. It's like, I'm done. I am so done with, I'm done with people talking me out of things. I'm done with, this getting in my way. I'm done with myself. I'm done with my excuses. I'm done with the yo-yo dieting. That was me. I am sick and tired. I am ready. I'm ready to go for it. And I can see it. There's a spark. There's a heck yeah, I am all in. That's all in. That's not all in perfectly, but that's all in. It's a commitment to keep showing up for yourself no matter what. It says, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to my goals. And then I'm going to talk about that in the next part of this, where I talk about understanding what's required. But there's no guilt or shame when you're in or out. You just choose. And when you're in that gray zone, you're constantly feeling like you should be doing more. You're not doing it good enough. When you're in that gray zone, that little wishy-washy, you're not hot, you're not cold. You're just like in the middle. Like that's the place that we don't want to be in, because it creates this frustration on the inside. So when you make a clear choice, whether it's all in or deciding that it isn't your season right now, you take back your power. The power is yours. You get to take that back. But both choices, I just want to make this very clear. Neither one of these choices is right or wrong. It's your choice. It's what we make it mean, right? It's not what somebody else thinks, because now we're operating in somebody else's realm and what they think and what their opinion is. No, girl, completely up to you. It is your choice, so you can own it. both choices are empowering. In fact, making one choice or the other is empowering. Staying stuck in the middle is not. That's the place where you feel it's all out of your control. You're frustrated. You could be doing it better. Nothing's working. You're going in circles, all of that. The key is that you get to decide. All right, let's take a moment to chug the jug. Let me mute my microphone here so I can drink some water. Cheers. Okay, am I off mute? I hope so. Am I? Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm good. Oh, okay, I had to test the mic. We don't need to go halfway through this episode with me being muted. So let's talk about this, understanding what's required, because this is something that I find I love this conversation because, it's one thing to wish something and want something and dream about something and say that you want to be healthy and fit and all that kind of stuff. And it's another thing to say it, mean it, and take some action towards it. If you are saying, I wish or I want that, but your idea of what that is hasn't been outlined, it's just a wish. You haven't come up with any kind of strategy. And this is why it's so important to be very specific. Like, number one, what do you want, right? Too many of us women do not know exactly what we want. And so if you don't know exactly what you want, first of all, then you're never going to get in. You're not going to be satisfied because you don't even know what you want. You can be mad, upset all day long about your health and your fitness, but if you don't specifically know what you want and specify it, then you don't, that's it. You're stuck. We need to know where we're going. We need to have a roadmap. And the only way to do that is to know what is your destination and to think to yourself, how am I going to get there? That's am I willing to do what is required? Am I willing to do what is required to get there? Right? Have I talked about this where traveling on a journey, you can choose your vehicle, your form of transportation. You can choose depending on what strategy you want to get to your destination, right? And so just know that if you choose certain strategies, that might not be the strategy that is required to attain your outcome. Let me kind of like flesh this out a little bit. What I mean by that is the difference between I just want to lose some weight or I want to look like I work out. I want to have a lean, fit physique, right? That's okay. What do you want? I just want to lose weight. Okay. There's a lot of reasons why people want to just lose weight. Could be health related. But then there's the other side of this. I don't want to just lose weight. That was me. I didn't want to just lose weight. I wanted to recomposition my body. So you see, those two goals, those two outcomes require two separate type of strategy. You have to have the right strategy. So if I said to you, well, if you want to look tone, that's the word that a lot of women like to use, and it's not making fun of, but that means you want your muscles to show. You want to have defined looking muscles. You want to be lean and shed the fat. If that is that is your goal, then your strategy is that you will need to track your calories and your macros, and you will need to eat mostly nutrient dense foods, lean proteins, hitting your protein target, and making sure you're still getting, optimal carbohydrates and fats in your diet for all of these reasons that your body requires it, and lifting heavy at the gym and being on a progressive overload plan, as well as staying active daily. And you will need to be very disciplined about getting to sleep and wake every day at the same time, staying hydrated, managing your stress. Look at all of the things. Now, I'm not saying you have to do all those things at one time, because you know me, I'm all about let's stack our habits. Let's work on one habit at a time. However, Do you understand that if you just want to lose weight, you just need to be in a slight calorie deficit and that's it? You're going to lose weight. You're not going to recomposition your body. But if you want this level of fat loss and body recomposition, this is what's required. So you get to choose. I'm in or out. Like if I said, "Oh, you just want to lose weight." Okay, well this is what's required. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. I just want to lose the weight. If you said, "Well, I want to recomposition my body," and I started saying, "Well, if you want to do that, then we need to work on making adjustments to your actual nutrition so that you're hitting your macros for your body." There's a big difference between just, calories, but then also, or adjusting your macros for your goal. But if I told you you need to do all these things, you could say, "Oh, I didn't realize that's what was required. I'm out." You have a choice, right? So that's the power of choice. So we can wish all day long, but we still need to have a strategy. You have to have a why. You want to be powerfully in it to win it. But then let's talk about the strategy. And are you willing to take this roadmap, to take this path to your outcome? And so don't just say, "I just want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 60 pounds. Like, get very specific and clear. And then let's decide on what is the strategy that's going to require for you to get there. There's going to be a lot of things involved. There's so many things involved. So if you decide, let's be clear about this. What does that look like for you and the outcome that you desire? Side note here for ladies, if that's you, that you want to just lose about 5 pounds, but you are in a very restricted calorie deficit and you are doing a lot of cardio all the time, and you feel like, "I still need to lose fat," this would, continuing on that path of constant cardio with a restricted calorie deficit is not going to get you what you desire. You're under muscled. That's just a side note for my ladies that may not understand that. If you are at a weight that is a healthy, quote unquote, weight, you think you need to lose 5 pounds of fat, more than likely you would do yourself so much more. You would be doing your body way more service to start strength training on a progressive plan and making sure that you're hitting your protein goals and that you're in a calorie, that you are eating enough calories. So you would want to be in maintenance or maybe even in surplus, but definitely not in a calorie deficit. You're never going to get anywhere with that. Staying in a calorie deficit, you're at an ideal healthy weight, you're in a calorie deficit and all you're doing is cardio. That's not working if you want to build muscle and get stronger and you want to lose that last 5 pounds of fat. That's not helpful. You can probably still lose, but you're not going to have the look that you want. Okay, enough of that. Why did I need to, I don't know why. I just needed to go on that little tangent there. So understanding what's required. You'll be consistent with your strength training. You will make protein a priority in your meals. This is if this was your goal. You want to recomposition your body, you will prioritize strength training on a progressive plan. Eating the macros necessary to do that. You'll take care of your sleep, your stress, your recovery, and you will do this unapologetically, whatever it takes, which could mean it's going to take saying no. What do you need to say no to? If you're not willing to say no to certain things, then you're not willing to say yes to what is required to achieve said goal. And I know this sounds elementary, but I think we all need to be reminded from time to time because we have these goals and we think, "I'm just doing these things," but we're stuck in the middle and we're not doing what is required. And so we live in this state of feeling like we're not good enough. We could do it better. We need to improve. Girl, you're either in or you're out. Knowing the requirements gives you freedom. You're not guessing. You're choosing with clarity the steps required to achieve your goal. So if right now you choose not to step fully into that, that is okay too. You're still making a conscious decision, which is very powerful in itself. So those are the things that I wanted to talk about today because the goal of my message today is to help you understand you don't have to live in this middle ground of feeling guilt and shame and not good enough and I'm not, I could be doing it better. Girl, you're either in or you're out. And that's the beauty of knowing what phase you're in. And I was discussing this with our ladies in Rock That Fitness at a coaching call recently. I'm like, you're not going to be always in a fat loss phase. Ladies, we can't live in a fat loss phase. This is not healthy for our metabolism. This is not healthy. We really do need to be living most of our lives in maintenance. The phases, maintenance, or if you're going to be in a calorie deficit for a cut, or if you're going to be reversing that and going back into maintenance, or if you need to go into a surplus to build more muscle. And that's a whole nother advanced thing. The point that I'm trying to make is that you need to do what is required for the phase that you are in, and you have power to make those decisions, and you don't have to feel these guilty, shame, frustration emotions. If you do understand that, you're choosing that, because life is all choice. And don't think for 1 minute, I don't think these things. I think the same thing. Like when I notice myself feeling anything, any kind of way about something, I will stop. I will ask myself, what is the reason that you're feeling frustrated with this? And when I stop to pause and realize when we're frustrated, we're actually giving our power away. I can choose to not be frustrated. It's so interesting to me how some people don't like to hear that, but I'm just going to say it because it is the truth. And when we can embrace the truth, we can feel set free. But I do that. I'm like, and why am I frustrated about this? When I'm frustrated about this, yes, I'm being frustrated. Okay, I'm owning it. I have been giving my power away. If I don't want to be frustrated anymore, I will take back my power. That's what this is all about. So I just want you to know this. Empowerment doesn't come from being perfect. And we all know that perfection is the lowest standard we could have for ourselves, because it always disappoints, because there's no such thing as perfect. We can never be perfect. So it's always going to end up causing us to feel pain, because there's no such thing as perfection. Boy, that would be a really good episode. Wow, that would be a really good episode to talk about that. Maybe I will. Let me know. Let me know what you think. But empowerment doesn't come from being perfect. Empowerment comes from making a choice and then owning it. So whether you're ready to go all in right now, or you need to wait to give yourself more compassion and more understanding, either way, you're not failing when you just are choosing. And if you're ready, this is the exciting news. I do have a call to action for you today, because tomorrow, this episode drops on Monday. September? Yeah, this episode's dropping on Monday, September 22nd. That's right. So that means tomorrow, Tuesday, September 23rd, doors to Rock That Fitness are opening. I'm opening up enrollment to Rock That Fitness on Tuesday. So this is for you if you're ready to make a decision to go all in. I'm opening the doors to Rock That Fitness because I know that we have the tools to help you go all in and get to your goals, get your outcome, have the strategy in place, have the women surrounding you for encouragement, to know you're not alone, to know that you have me as your coach helping you walk each step of the way, wherever you are, individualizing your personal plan, having a strength training program in place for you. You don't have to guess about it. You just follow the plan in the app. And anyways, the link is in the show notes. So if you see that, go for it. The link is in the show notes, but you won't be able to sign up until Tuesday. So maybe you come back, I don't know, grab the link, but doors are going to be open, and all the information will be there. So what else? This could be your moment, right? This could finally be when you say yes to yourself and you step fully into your strongest, healthiest, most empowered self. And it really does come down to that, stepping into the identity of who you really want to become. And all of the ways that we have been thinking up until this point, all of those thought patterns that have gotten us here are not the same thought patterns. They're not the same thought processes that are required to actually get us to the goals that we desire. If that's your desire to take care of yourself, step into that empowered role of saying yes to your health and your fitness, saying yes, I am going to go to the gym. I am going to get my workouts in. I am going to start walking daily. Whatever you need to say yes to, I'm going to start changing my diet. I'm going to start eating more healthy food. I'm going to start bringing some more vegetables in my life. I'm going to start making sure I hit my protein. One thing, I'm just going to start hitting my protein. I'm going to start saying yes to hitting my protein. We're not here to overwhelm, right? We already know we can't do it all the time, all at once. Like, you've got to stack habits. So if it's you and you've been on the fence, feeling frustrated, not quite saying yes or no, having those feelings of guilt, not good enough, all of that garbage, decide. I'm all in or I'm all out. And girl, I really do want to encourage you to be all in with your health and your fitness. And no taking breaks from health and fitness. What is that all about? Is that serving you? Is that serving you in the best way? That's not self-love, right? I'm just going to ignore taking care of myself. No, that's not serving you. So again, I want you to walk away knowing that you don't have to feel ready. You don't even have to believe in yourself to take action. And the actions that are in alignment with the outcome that you strongly desire in your heart. Yeah, listen to your heart. The outcome that you want is on the other side of making that scary decision. And I'm speaking from experience because I'm challenging myself every single day in my life to do things that challenge me, that are uncomfortable, because I know that it's in the best interest of myself, my personal growth, my life, when I do those things. And the more I avoid them, the longer it's going to take for me to achieve any said goal, or I will just stay stuck. And if I'm going to stay there, there's no reason to complain about it. I chose that. Fully empowered, right? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I hope so. Well, we have gone through all these things. Think about this. Think about old patterns of thinking that we need to get out of. It's not selfish. It is very selfless to be saying yes more. Sometimes we need to say yes to bigger things for ourselves instead of saying yes to a lot of things that are not serving us. Saying yes to you and your health and your fitness, prioritizing that. Girl, we're not getting any younger. We're not getting stronger. We've got to take care of our body and our mind, our health and our fitness. So understand that that's going to be a process. It's something that we have to practice. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's continuous process of practicing and showing up and stepping into the best version of you, the better version of you each and every day. And so I hope you will take some time to truly evaluate, are you all in? Are you all in for yourself? And that's not selfish, that's selfless. And then stepping into what is required. If you're all in, then do what is necessary. Be the woman that does the thing so you can have the outcome that your heart desires. That's all I got for you today, girl. I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you will step in, come join us inside of Rock That Fitness. A whole new world will open up to you. You will be doing things differently, and I will challenge you. I am the coach that loves you so much. I'm going to challenge your thinking so that you can decide, make a choice to change things so that things will be different, right? Because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And I care about you and I love you. So come join us and rock that fitness. Come join me. Come join all the other Rockstar sisters in there. We're excited to bring you in and welcome you in with all the love and encouragement, and just so you can just know that this is a place that you can be yourself, you can be brave, and come on in. And it's a very active community, by the way, in case I haven't spoken about. Ladies listening, Rock That Fitness ladies, I love you guys so much. I have to shout out to all my rock star ladies inside of Rock That Fitness. You guys inspire me every day. Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry. I love y'all. I love, love, love seeing you guys stepping into yourselves, the higher version of yourself, the person who does the thing unapologetically, who is celebrating every small win, because there's no win too small. And you guys, y'all inspire me. I love you so much. So shout out to all the ladies in Rock the Fist. But anyway, we are a very active community. And this is not a place, I'm going to say this right now, and the ladies of Rock That Fitness, they know, and we love it. We love the space that we have created. This is a space of growth and nurturing, and a place where you can continue to learn and grow and become the best version of yourself. We don't, I don't stand for, we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about controversial issues. We're not in there, just, throwing a bunch of stuff in the feed that has nothing to do with, what we're trying to accomplish, our goals. Like these ladies, yes, we have fun. I'm not saying like we don't have any fun. We have a lot of fun in there, and it's just a beautiful vibe. And so if you're ready to be in a place like that where you can be in there, plant and grow, and let us help you. You can water this seed, nurture this seed, let the sunshine be on there, and grow into your potential as a healthy, fit woman as we age strong. Then that's you. Come on in, girl. We're gonna welcome you in with open arms. Okay, that's all I got for you. Again, here I go. I was just going off on a tangent with all the love. When things get tough, always remember love, love, love. So we're stepping into our becoming our better selves, and that requires love, self-compassion, because we're doing ourselves a disservice if we're constantly beating ourselves up, if we're constantly putting ourselves in the middle of that spot where we're frustrated, right? We're just in the middle. Get out of there. Empower yourself. It's not about being perfect. All right, I love you. As I always say, self-care, self-love, all day, every day, in every way. Do I have your word? Good. Rock